we are going to discuss the endocrine glands. The another endocrine gland is ovary. Ovary after the pituitary gland, ovary, and location of the ovary. Where the ovary is located? In the lower abdomen in females, right? And ovary can secrete two hormones. One is estrogen and another is progesterone. Estrogen, the functions of estrogen is growth of uterus where baby is developing in the mother's womb. That region is called uterus. So growth of uterus is under the control of the estrogen. Later, skeleton of the pelvis, right? Pelvic region, this particular region where the baby is accommodated in the female uterus, the muscles and the skeleton system also be little widened. That is also controlled by estrogen hormone. Later, it controls the menstrual cycle in females. Menstrual cycle means the production of ovum and releasing of ovum from the ovary. It happens every 28 to 30 days in almost all the females, right? Until the 45-50 years. So this complete process every month for 28 to 30 days, what the process happens, production of ovum, releasing of ovum and discharge of ovum, all these controlled by the estrogen. That complete all the functions is called menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle is controlled by the estrogen. Later, another hormone secreted by ovary is progesterone. The progesterone helps in the development of uterus. Whenever the females are growing in the age from the childhood to the adolescent to the next stage, maybe the young ones at the time of marriage, the uterus will be widened to carry the baby and accommodate the sufficient place for the baby itself. So that the development of uterus is controlled by the progesterone. And also implantation. Implantation means after the ovum got released from the ovary, it is captured by the funnel-like structures of the fallopian tubules, and that ovum can travel through the fallopian tubes, and after the fertilization occur in the fallopian tube, the zygote can runs down and attach the inner wall of the uterus, right? This moving downwards and attaches to the inner wall of the uterus called a endometrium is called implantation. This implantation complete process is under the control of progesterone. Later, development of mammary glands. When the baby has born, automatically the mammary glands, when the baby is developing inside the uterus of the female, the mammary glands automatically increase in size and they are ready to produce the milk for the feeding of the baby itself. Later, another important endocrine gland is thyroid gland. Thyroid. The location of the thyroid gland is neck, near the neck itself. Here we can find the thyroid gland. This thyroid gland secreting a hormone called thyroxine. This thyroxine helps in the general growth and metabolic activities. Thyroxine helps in the general growth of the body and also metabolic activities occur in the body itself is under the control of thyroxine secreted from thyroid gland. Later, another important endocrine gland is testis. Testis are the male reproductive organs. The location of testis is a scrotum, scrotal sac. It is also called as scrotal sac or scrotum, because it is a membranous structure where testes are located outside the body, right? Because they cannot tolerate the body temperature, so the testes are present outside the body in a sac-like structure called scrotal sacs or scrotum. This is the location of the testis. The testes are secreting a hormone called testosterone. Testosterone is generally called as a male hormone. This male hormone helps in the growth of hair on face. Usually, this is generally called as a secondary sexual character. This hormone brings the secondary sexual characters in males. This is the one of the secondary sexual characters in males, nothing but growth of hair on face like a mustache and beard. Later, The muscular development, muscle development in males. The chest become widened and muscles become hardened. These all things come under the control of testosterone. And a change of voice. When the males are enter the adolescent age from the childhood, automatically their voice will be changed because of in the region of vocal cords, one of the cartilage bone will be protrude out and it makes the muscles to be stretched a little longer so that the voice will become the harsh voice that is under the control of testosterone. This is also be one of the important secondary sexual character. And also normal sexual behavior. Normal sexual behavior is also a kind of a secondary sexual characters which bring out the testosterone. And also development of male sex organs. Development of male sex organs, and all these characters we are observing in the males itself because the testosterone is the male hormone, male sex hormone. Later, the another important endocrine gland is adrenaline. Adrenaline location is present, it is attached to the kidneys, or in other words we can say the adrenal glands are present over the kidneys, above the kidneys itself, and this adrenal gland secreting a hormone called adrenaline. The adrenal gland secreting a hormone called adrenaline. This adrenaline increase the rate of heartbeat. Increase the rate of heartbeat because the adrenal gland generally called as the fight or flight hormone. Means this hormone released into the blood, the person having some the stimulations or maybe the some symptoms we can show that. Particularly when the person is feeling the fear or anger, we can observe the effect of adrenaline. When adrenaline released into the blood, the person heartbeat will be increases automatically than the normal, and also raise the blood sugar. Raise the blood sugar also, and also dilation of the coronary artery. Coronary artery means the artery which supplies oxygenated blood to the walls of the heart is called coronary artery. This coronary artery also be dilation, increase the size automatically, right? And the dilation of the pupil also, dilation of the pupil. Particularly when the person is getting anger, they can increase the size of the eye, and also dilation of the pupil also, the pupil size also be increasing. That's nothing but dilation of the pupil. And when the person is enter the dark room also, is unable to see the things around him because of the no light. At that situation also, the pupil dilation also be occurred, right? So during the anger condition and fear conditions, the dilation of the pupil occur. That is under the control of adrenaline secreted from adrenal gland present over the kidneys. And another important endocrine gland is pancreas. Pancreas is located near the duodenum. Duodenum means initial part of the small intestine. Where the stomach is attached to the small intestine, a U-shaped structure or a C-shaped structure is called duodenum. Right? Generally, pancreas is called as a mixed gland because half of the pancreas acts as a exocrine gland which helps in the digestion of food materials, and remaining half of the pancreas acts as a endocrine glands which helps in the many functions. And one of the important is this pancreas secreting two hormones. One is the insulin and there is glucagon. The insulin decrease the glucose level in the blood. When a person consumes any kind of a food material, after the digestion, the glucose level in the blood automatically increases. When the glucose level in the blood increases than the normal, immediately insulin secretes from the pancreas and bringing down to the normal. And another hormone secreted from pancreas is glucagon. This glucagon working against the insulin activity. That's nothing but it increases the glucose level in the blood. Whenever some situations when the glucose level brings down than the normal, decreases than the normal, immediately pancreas releasing the glucagon hormone and bringing up to the normal level of the glucose in the blood. In other words, we can say insulin and glucagon are work one against another because insulin decrease the glucose level and glucagon increase the glucose level, and whatever it is, both of them they are balancing the glucose level in the blood. So these are the endocrine glands and their hormones and their functions itself. Now we are going to discuss the endocrine glands in the body. What are endocrine glands? The total glands present in the body are classified into two types. One is exocrine glands and another endocrine glands. Exocrine glands means the glands which are having the ducts and they can release their chemical substances where they want to be released. Means their target part they can be releasing the chemical substances or hormones through the duct or generally called as a tube. Whereas the endocrine glands they doesn't have any duct. So these are called ductless glands. Means the glands does not possessed by any tube-like structures. These glands are releasing their hormones or chemical substances directly into the blood. So blood can carry these chemical substances released by the endocrine glands and they can be carried to the where they are needed. So these endocrine glands are secreting some hormones and these functions, the hormone functions also we mentioned here. See this, one of the important endocrine gland is pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. The location of the pituitary gland is floor of the brain. It is located in the floor of the brain. And this pituitary gland is secreting almost 7 hormones. This pituitary gland secreting almost 7 hormones. And their functions here it is. The first hormone secreted by pituitary gland is somatotrophin. Somatotrophin. This somatotrophin helps in the growth of bones. Growth of bones in the body, wherever the bones are located, these bones are grown by the stimulation of somatotrophin. Later, the another hormone secreted by pituitary gland is thyrotrophin. Thyrotrophin. This thyrotrophin, activity of thyroid gland. Activity of thyroid gland. Thyroid glands near the neck itself, right? And the next gland is, the next hormone is gonadotropin. Gonadotropin. Gonads in the sense of, in the body, ovaries and testes are called gonads, right? And these gonads are making activity active by the gonadotropin. See this here, activity of ovary and testes. Ovary and testes are activated by the gonadotropin hormone. Later, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Adrenocorticotropic hormone. Adreno in the sense of, indirectly we can say that this hormone is related to the adrenal gland. See this here, it functions stimulates the secretions of adrenal cortex. Adrenal cortex. The adrenal gland outer region is called cortex, the inner region is called medulla. This particular ACTH hormone secretes the hormones from the adrenal cortex only. What are the hormones are secreted from adrenal cortex or stimulated by adrenocorticotropic hormone. Later, another important hormone secreted from pituitary gland is luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone. This luteinizing hormone secretions of testosterone. Generally, it is actively work in the males itself. Secretions of testosterone in males, because testosterone is usually called as male hormone. Later, in females, ovulation. Ovulation means releasing of ovum from the ovary. Releasing of ovum from the ovary is called ovulation. This is also stimulated by luteinizing hormone. And another is development of corpus luteum. Development of corpus luteum. What is corpus luteum? Corpus luteum is nothing but after the Graafian follicle ruptures and ovum can release it or flushed out of the ovary, the remaining Graafian follicle is converted into corpus luteum. Corpus luteum. So this development of corpus luteum is also stimulated by luteinizing hormone. Later, secretions of progesterone. Secretions of progesterone. Progesterone is generally called as a female hormone. The female hormone progesterone secretions also stimulated by luteinizing hormone. Later, another important hormone secreted from pituitary gland is follicle stimulating hormone. Follicle stimulating hormone. Its short form is FSH. This is a spermatogenesis in males. Spermatogenesis means sperms are the male gametes. The production of male gametes is called spermatogenesis. So, in males, production of male gametes is stimulated by FSH hormone secreted from pituitary gland. Later, growth of Graafian follicle. Usually, the ovum is developed in the ovary, inside the ovary. Initially, some cells in the ovary are converted into Graafian follicle. Each Graafian follicle can produce one single ovum. So, this Graafian follicle growth also controlled by this FSH. Later, estrogen secretion. Estrogen is another female hormone. This also secreted by, stimulated to secrete by the FSH. Later, milk production in females. After the delivery of the baby, the mother can feed their milk. Right, the milk which containing nutrients and also increasing the immunity power in the baby itself. That milk production is also stimulated by follicle stimulating hormone secreted from pituitary gland. The most another important hormone secreted by pituitary gland is vasopressin. Vasopressin. This vasopressin regulates the water absorption from the kidney tubules. Water absorption from the kidney tubules. Right? This is regarding the endocrine gland, pituitary gland and their hormones.